I am Hanif Marzuki, CEO of Youth Venture, and now we are live at YVSTUDIO, Cyberjaya. Welcome to Live for Youth, and today we have a very special guest. So, we are also streaming this show live on Facebook. So, if you go to your Facebook and if you're watching on Facebook, please share, subscribe, and also like. And if you want to ask a question, or if you have any thoughts, or if you have any personal experience with our guest today, please comment down below. Okay. So, we are live for youth, and it is an experience sharing for the industry. So, at Youth Ventures, we also help youth with our Youth Academy program. So we have 2 classes available. So one of our classes is a web design class. So you can scan the QR code if you are interested. We also have a branding class happening in March. So again, scan the QR code if you are interested. And if you need all of this information, it is available on our Facebook and our Instagram. So there are 31 million Malaysians, and all of them are facing the pandemic. And our 31 million Malaysians are divided into various races. So we have Malays, Indian, Chinese, and we have Ibans. So our 31 million Malaysians right now are facing a very unprecedented situation. We are facing an epidemic, which is COVID-19, and we hope that you guys are at home right now, staying safe, watching our live session. So, all of these 31 million Malaysians, they actually do something during the pandemic, which reflects on the numbers of SMEs in Malaysia, which is about 900,000 SMEs in Malaysia. And the majority of the SMEs are in Selangor. And all of these SMEs are handled by multiracial people, Malay, Chinese, Indian. So we also have Kadazan, and we also have the others. And our speakers today is the embodiment of Malaysian. She looks like a Chinese. She's actually a Malay, and her hair is like Deepavali. So introducing Farah Fauzi. Can we have her on the screen right now? Hi, Farah.
Hi Hanif. Thank you for having me.
So Farah, thank you for being together with us today at Live for Youth. How are you today?
I'm doing great. My hair is ready for Valentine's Day. Not Deepavali, but you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So can you please, like, very short story, what happened to your hair? Can you please? There must be a story.
Well, it is MCO. I thought, you know, I'm going to try fix my hair up with a really crazy color one time. And if it's a botch job, no one's going to see it. This is the perfect time to do it. And turns out it's not a botch job. So I'm really happy.
So let's cut to the chase. Let's go to our first question. So if you were to write a book for the first 17 years of your life, what would be the synopsis?
The synopsis of the book?
Exactly, yeah.
Breaking every single boundary you ever thought you wouldn't be able to break.
So, and what happened? What happened? From high school, and then after that, law school. So what was the pivotal moment, or what was the transition?
The reason why I chose to go to law school is actually because, so right after high school, I was always working. I couldn't sit still. And every time I worked somewhere, I realized I had a colleague, or even at home, you know, I've got like cousins who have gone through a version of domestic violence. And so I thought, okay, I need to know how to be protected. I need to learn my rights for myself. It was a very selfish decision. I did not want to be a lawyer. I just wanted to understand rights better. And then along the way, I came across a certain opportunity to attend specific startup programs and build some stuff. And then I failed at it, which made me realize I needed to understand the law even better. And that's how I got into law school.
So can we go to the first picture? So this is an interesting article. I did a Google search on you. So we're going to touch on this later. But I want to ask you, because you graduated from one of the top law school in Malaysia. Which is University Islam Antarabangsa, and we all know that to graduate from UIA, and all of them pretty much, it's like Syed Saddiq. You're like Syed Saddiq. Of your.
I'm a normal UIA student too.
Yeah. So
nobody in UIA remembers me. I'm a ninja there. I just attend classes when I leave. I don't show up.
You just attend classes and leave. I've heard a few stories where a few interesting stories about you coming to class. So can you please share us one stories of you? I mean, the most memorable moment of you going to class.
I think you're hinting at a certain memory, so why not you jog that one and I'll elaborate.
Okay, so can you please tell us? I mean, I have quite a number of friends who did part-time work
Yes.
in UIA. So they always tell me that they still go to their class and they still go to their part-time work. So I mean, being in two places at once. So have you ever, I mean, because as you said, you're like a ninja, so have you ever used that technique?
So UIA, please let me keep my degree. If any of you from there are listening, certificate students are actually not allowed to have a full-time job. But I had one while I was studying.
Oh, you have a full-time job, not a part-time job.
But I was really lucky because my full-time job allowed me to already work remotely. So I've had enough practice working from home. But I also needed to travel a lot. So I guess one of the stories actually not allowed. I believe one of your co-founders have helped me, made sure I succeed at becoming a ninja many times in uni.
That's the beauty of being in a community, we help each other out. Okay, so another interesting experience that I found out upon searching on Google was you were one of the few Malaysians who have attended the Nobel Peace Prize Award. Yeah, so can you please share us that inspiring journey?
So like I said, I attended a program after high school that helped me foray into the realm of entrepreneurship, and that was Global Startup Youth, which is powered by right now Startup Weekend, which is what I work on. And then I was able to build an app powered by DG after winning the competition. So I was the inaugural winner with Wendy, and we were the first Malaysian youths to attend Nobel Peace Prize Awards.
Wendy, we actually have a picture of you and Wendy.
You really like to collect pictures, huh?
We really try. I mean, our research team is the best, So when tell us again, like on your journey, continue.
Yeah, so that was the year 2013. We were really young and we were building our first ventures. DG was super supportive. They sent us there. We stayed for a whole week. We were immersed completely in the local culture and environment. We got to meet really cool people. We had incredible workshops with Firefox. They released a phone for certain countries, third world countries, for accessibility to mobile technology, and we were able to get prototypes of all of that. We got to work with Wikipedia, with Twitter. We basically had a lot of guidance, and without them, I wouldn't be able to speak the way I speak today. I was very scared. I was always. I mean, you know me. I'm very introverted. I don't like talking to a lot of people.
How old were you at that time?
I don't remember. I think I was 20? 19, 20?
So for the viewers out there who are, any advice for the viewers out there who are at your age, they came across a competition but they feel that they can't join the competition because it's not enough. So do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, so when I started the whole thing, I didn't even know what startup meant. I don't know anything. I just knew I wanted to travel, and I just knew I wanted to make a difference. And I thought if I had the opportunity to travel somewhere in a place like that, I was going to be able to represent the problem I was, very passionate about and make a difference. And I think this has a lot to do also with our education system and how we are not trained to question. And so when we see, eligibility requirements and criteria, I don't fit in, we just don't even try. But everything that I've ever done in my life that I'm very proud of, I was never eligible for any of them, and I did it anyway.
And for everyone's information, Farah is actually an avid volunteer. You volunteer a lot, I believe. So you actually started I actually know you. Means you started volunteering from volunteering. We met at Global Startup Youth as a mentor, and after that, I discovered that you were in Startup Weekend. So can you please share us about Startup Weekend?
So Startup Weekend is a 54 hours immersive experiential education program for entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs. I know that's like a mouthful. So what it really means is that you come over for a weekend, maybe you're alone, maybe you've got a team, you meet random people, you drink lots of coffee or tea, you're a bit sleep deprived and a little bit crazy, but you learn a lot of things, and then you start building a project together, and at the end of the day, you realize, oh my God, I've built the basics of a company. That's really what it is. It's really fun.
So so Startup Weekend is, who owns Startup Weekend?
Currently, Startup Weekend is owned by Techstars, and that's who I'm employed.
So can you please tell us one of the saddest stories that you have during Startup Weekend? Like any sad memories?
Any sad memories?
Yeah, because always happy memories kan, nak dengar sad memories pula.
There's actually a lot of the sad ones, but I'm going to give you a bittersweet one. So I was facilitating a Startup Weekend in Kuching, and it was a tourism edition, I believe. And there was a participant who came every single day by bus, 2 hours each way, because her family was displaced. Her family used to plant barrio rice, and then, barrio rice you have to plant in the hills, right? So she had to move to flat land, and then she was figuring out, how do I still do what I know how to do, the one thing I know how to do and sustain my family. So she attended Startup Weekend to learn how to market this barrio rice that's actually not from barrio. So it's like authentic, but it's not authentic. And how do you, position that? How do you use technology? How do you increase your purchase order quantities and all that? And the beautiful thing is, a group of students from all around Malaysia who attended that weekend because they were studying in Kuching decided to be her teammates and went to her farm and learned how to do everything, like get their hands dirty in the soil, understand end-to-end the process and the journey, built a website for her. At the end of the day, she sold out. Like, she had more demand than she had any, produce. So she cried and she was like, I never thought this could happen to me. Like, this project really literally saved my family, and it was really, really hard. She had family, it was really hard for her to get on the bus and travel 4 hours a day just to attend a program that was really long. We started at 8 a.m. and we ended at like 10 p.m.
So actually, I also have an experience volunteering with Startup Weekend, all thanks to Farah. So Farah, I've never thanked you. Thank you, Farah, for giving me the opportunity. And for me, Startup Weekend has helped a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs turn their ideas into concept, and actually some of them bring the concept and actually go to the market, validate their idea, and we also have a few successful companies that came out from Startup Weekend. So Farah, just share with our viewers any notable companies that came out from Startup Weekend.
Sure. So in Asia, we've got Carousel, that's a unicorn based in Singapore. So they came out of Startup Weekend in Singapore. We've got Damakan, which has currently rebranded. I think it's, Pop Eats? I'm not sure.
Pop Meals.
Yeah, Pop Meals. So they started in Startup Weekend in Hong Kong. But globally, we have so many. So if you just want to Google, or better yet, just attend Startup Weekend, and then you'll be able to find out more.
So just want to understand. So what are the initiatives that Techstars have for the community during this pandemic, or what are Startup Weekend doing to adapt to the current situation?
Okay, so Startup Weekend is actually one of the main programs that Techstars hosts as part of Startup Programs chapter, and I work under that department. The other programs we have are Startup Week and Startup Digest. So Startup Digest is like a newsletter that's curated. Everything we do is powered by volunteers. I'm not a volunteer. I get paid to manage the volunteers. And to design the experiences for our participants. So currently, the biggest thing we've done during the pandemic is actually converting the Startup Weekend experience to something online. It thrives specifically by being a very experiential, in-person, kind of program. And it was really hard to do, but I think it's working because we ran at least 150 programs last year around the world. So we're working on it, and we're really happy to be able to do that and inspire people from everywhere. So like a really cool example, maybe when we were building this and we're thinking of, basics, tech tools, platforms, and us today now, after going through the pandemic for a year, we're like, yeah, you know what? Of course it's Zoom. What other platform would there be? It's like the easiest. Everybody knows about it. But you'd be surprised because my colleague who manages, Middle East or like South Africa or any other regions, one of them pinged us and they were like, no, Zoom's not going to work because the place I manage is so rural that nobody can use anything but Facebook Live or Facebook chats. And so we need to figure out a program that is adaptable all the way from people in, I don't know, Estonia, who's really tech savvy and they use multiple platforms, to, some of our friends in Madagascar who can only use Facebook Live.
So how do you see our region adapting to technology as compared to other region during the pandemic?
I think we're doing pretty good, The good thing for us is the fact that we're developing is great. Technology always comes with infrastructure. When you already have a lot of infrastructure in place, it's very hard for you to adapt because then there are a lot of things you need to take away that is hardware. As much as you think, yeah, software is king, but at the end of the day, you can have the best software, but if you're trying to run it on like a 2008 Dell computer, it's not going to work. So the good thing with Southeast Asia is that we're very close to China. We have a lot of access to raw materials and new products. And B, we haven't fully immersed ourselves yet in hardware technology. So now that new things are coming up, it's very easy for us to adapt. So I think we're doing really well.
So I want to ask you a next question. So one of the things that we discovered was you also are a part of the First Daughters Club. So for those who don't know, First Daughters Club is a female empowerment think tank thingy ran by Farah and her group of successful friends, female friends who are all first daughters. So you can check them out on Instagram, First Daughters Club. I feel that, connecting from our initial conversation up until now, I realized that you have passion for education, and you are quite an iconic person in terms of in terms of entrepreneurship, community building, and you also represent for me women in your industry. I need to say that you represent women in community building. So how do you see female entrepreneurs adapting to the challenges, adapting to the current circumstances during the pandemic? So female entrepreneurs in Southeast Asia.
Okay. Well, before I answer that, first of all, First Daughters Club is just like a literal inside joke. But you know what? Now that you've mentioned this, maybe we'll turn something big out of it. Yeah. Like I'll partner with Google for startups or something to spin something out. Okay, so your question was about how female entrepreneurs are adapting to the current climate.
Yeah.
I think they have never stopped adapting. They will always need to adapt. And thank you for raising up the fact that women are always having to adapt for a world that was not made for them. I think a lot of women are rising up to the challenge. Of course, there are many things that needs to change to support female entrepreneurs, right? Like the world was made for men. There are certain practices in business that may not be said out loud, but are things that usually men typically only do. Simple things like drinking or like conversations over having a smoke. And that's when business deals are being made. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to talk about it. But these things are sometimes inevitable. And there are also other things such as just unconscious bias that people have towards women. So I think in general, the community can be more supportive towards women, but I think women have proven enough with or without them. They're already adapting and changing. We're doing a lot. Lanice, for example, from Droppy, the first Malaysian company to get into Y Combinator as a startup. Look at that. Like, she's a woman, and who has helped her besides her close connections and group of friends? You don't even hear about it. No one's even singing crazy praises about that.
So while we are on this topic about women entrepreneurs, and you've mentioned Lanice, so any other inspiring women that people should know, but are not well known, but people should know? You want to do any shout outs of any inspiring stories toward your career as a community builder?
Oh, you know what? That's really hard because I find inspiration in almost every woman or every person that I meet in general. I really can't point out a person because I feel like it's not fair. I think what people should learn, instead of looking to one person and keep idolizing a certain human being, because you got to remember, everybody has different experiences and different backgrounds. You may love Elon Musk. Can you emulate that if you don't have the same resources or skill sets or anything else that he has? So what you can do is really, number one, look internally and understand what your strengths are. And number two, always find inspiration from people around you, because sometimes A, people need the kindness. They don't realize that they're doing a great job, and you could be the person who shouts that out for them. And also B, you're always learning something from someone else.
I want to go back to one of the statement that you've made. The world was not made by women. We understand that women face a lot of challenges, not just in business but in life. There are cases of women feeling scared when they actually go out and step out from their house, and not just that. And then especially right now, so during the pandemic, much more worse. We see not just female entrepreneurs but entrepreneurs in general facing a lot of hardship. But as you said, women will always persevere. They always get back up because they when they wake up, always bundled with challenge, bombarded with challenges. So on your side, as a community builder, what are the challenges that you've faced, and how did you overcome the challenges?
What are the challenges I faced? Oh, there are so many. Like, the most basic is probably just the fact that I'm a woman, and in certain countries, women don't hold high positions. And when men have to take instructions or orders from women, they don't take it very well and they become very rude. That's a very basic one that I can give you. If not that, then sometimes it's unconscious bias with whether you're capable of running something or not. But also, I don't like having this conversation in a way that it's like lopsided and like people need to change. People need to change all the time, because I feel like we as women also need to change. For example, recently, there's a company that was looking for freelancers, female designers, or just general designers to kind of hire. And then they realized the men are putting their rates at twice the amount that women are. And then people are like, you know what? Like, you're worth it. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So it's a tango. The people who are not women, like so men, I guess, need to be aware a little bit more. But women should also have the confidence to put themselves out there. Because, women account for at least 50% of the world's working age population. But we're really largely misrepresented, like the tech field specifically, because I work in tech startup community specifically, right? They're notoriously male dominated at all levels, and considerably worse than non-tech industries. So the only way you can change that is if you as a woman are aiming for that representation, and you can't keep asking other people to do it. You got to be that person.
True. So I also want to touch on, one of your roles, which is we know that if you know Farah Fauzi, Farah Fauzi travels a lot. So you go here and there. Prior to the pandemic, sometimes you're in Boulder, Colorado. Sometimes you're in,
to the dismay of my personal love life, yes.
Yeah. And sometimes you're in some parts of Asia. So that's a fun life to have. So how does traveling change your point of view, and how does traveling shape you as a person that you are now today?
It's a double-edged sword. So traveling definitely opens my eyes a lot more, and maybe I'm a little bit more liberal than many others. I probably fall into the bangsa bubble trap when it comes to that. But there are also many things that brings me back home. So like, for example, if I travel now, I only want Asian food. Like, I love Malaysia. I don't want to leave Malaysia if I don't have to. But it really broadens my mind. It's simple things like religion. Like, I'm a very spiritual person. It's close to my heart. I may not look like one, but you realize that when you are not the majority somewhere, you really count your blessings a lot more. And the way you practice certain things, the way you view certain things changes, because you become more humane as opposed to listening to what other people's interpretations of certain things are. So I guess that's how travel changes me the most. It's a combination of travel and for my love of history. That's like, I think, where my thinking is shaped. It also helps me understand better, like, going back to women, the top barriers that women usually face. Because when I travel for work, and that's always, like I said, the tech startup community or industry. And if I have to list out a few things that I have seen in general that are top barriers for women to break into the industry, I think it would be number one, lack of mentors. So again, that goes back to representation. We don't have enough female role models in the field. Number two is definitely the gender bias in the workplace. A lot more predominant in Asia, but still predominant everywhere, to be honest, except for Scandinavia. Unequal growth opportunities, for example, compared to men. So you're always put second place. Also, the fact that, you know, you could get pregnant and you need time off from work. Like you're never the first person they think of. And the most important one to me, besides the mentorship that nobody ever talks about, is unequal pay for the same skills. And I think, yeah.
And just a very quick question. I just want to understand on your point of view. Why does this happen?
Why does this happen? You know, women were not allowed to work not too long ago. We've only been able to actually work just a little over 100 years. So it's very hard, I think, for the systems that have been created for thousands of years to adjust to accommodate to what's okay and what's not. Like if you imagine, if men could give birth and menstruate, do you think there would be holidays for men to do that? And wouldn't you think that menstruation pads or things like that would be free at this point because it's a God-given right? You're born with it, you know? So it's just simple mindsets that I'm not asking for free things. I'm just saying, I understand why it's very difficult, and I understand that it's going to take time for it to shift around. And we're not even talking about cultural, religious norms that are put into place.
So, I mean, thank you for answering that question. I do understand that, you know, for some that question is a bit sensitive, but I believe that everyone needs to understand the current situation, and whatever Farah has just stated, that is the situation. So,
wait, disclaimer, that's my opinion.
Yeah,
in no way is that like correct or not correct. I'm not giving any like proper solid legal advice, so don't pin me for that.
Tak apa, we're gonna put on live for you kan. The guests are entitled to their own opinion. So
thank you.
So Farah, last question. So I think this is the most important question to everyone. How do you organize your time? Because you, how do you organize your time? Where in your life, I believe that you are doing a lot of things. You have a cat, a kitten or a cat.
She's 6 months now, so I guess she's a cat.
You have a cat, and then you know you're also active, going here and there, cycling. And if I'm not mistaken, you also you've recently take up Krav Maga, hence the red hair. Macam Black Widow. So how do you organize your time and energy? And when it comes to energy too, because you know you're an introverted person, so I believe that as a community builder, it is compulsory for you to meet a lot of people. Hence, you need to invest a lot of energy. So how do you manage your time and maintain your energy, or how do you distribute the energy on a daily basis? Yeah.
Okay. Well, before I answer that, fun fact, most of our community builders or leaders or facilitators in my community are all introverts. Like 70% of them are introverts. So that's really cool, which means a lot of people can do what I do, right? So they can manage the time the way I manage it. How I manage my time, I make sure if I need space, I give myself the space. Like I just prioritize myself. I didn't used to do that a lot, and I got really sick. But making sure you identify certain activities that can help you become productive, but align you at the same time, I think is really important. And secondly, having a really, really, really good support network. Like people who just understand you, build that circle. You are the sum average of your closest, 5, 6 people. So making sure that you have a really good support network that understands you and can bounce with you. Because sometimes you think you know what's good for you, but sometimes you don't. Time blocking. If you want like a specific answer, time blocking is a really good way to do that. By the way, Hanif, you're on mute.
Yeah. So thank you, Farah, for the advice. I believe that, I mean, I think you've told me that once. prioritize yourself before anyone else. You should think about yourself first, and then find time to do things that you love. So just share on your side. So what are the things that you love to do? I mean, if you're super busy, super serabut kan, you go do that thing. So what are that thing?
Okay lah. Okay, so let's just be honest sometimes. I am not a very organized person when it comes to my time, because I'm very like, if I have a flow state, then I will go all out, and then I will like focus, and to the point where I probably can even drool. But then if I'm not in that flow state, I can't focus, and so I will do things that I want. I either chatting on Clubhouse, which is the new thing, or reading a book. Right now I just got a bunch of new paints. I can't wait to paint. Krav Maga is something very important to me, and that relates to women's security as well. So maybe that's another conversation we can have later on. So I try to practice a little bit of that, but if not, just spending time with people or animals that I love, that energizes me a lot.
So
very basic.
Yeah, so just you just touch on women's security. Macam tahu-tahu je aku nak bagi kejap lagi kan. So we actually are launching a line of products. If you look on our table, and we also have a photo of a product over here. So on Monday we're gonna launch our first product from Oh My Bay, which is the pepper spray, and it's gonna be available on Shopee. So our aim is to build Malaysians most comprehensive ataupun most lengkap women shop for women protection. So this is our first lineup product with long lines of other products. So we also have the inventor of this product today. Do we have Amira here?
Yes.
Can we highlight Amira? So Amira, can you turn on your camera? Okay. So can we highlight Amira right now together with all the speakers? Yeah. Okay, so highlight spot okay. Okay. So okay, so right now, can you please, Amira, the floor is yours. Can you please tell us about your creation?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Miraza. I'm the founder of Oh My Bay. So, as women, we all know that safety has been a problem for us whenever we step out of the door, right? So because of this, I experienced this as well, myself as a woman. Whenever I go, whenever we go traveling, go to the parking or traveling alone,
Fine.
We have a problem of, we are so paranoid that someone will snatch us, or, we get harassed somewhere in the alley. So back then, I bought a pepper spray, a normal pepper spray, but it didn't function well with me because I put it in a bag. So whenever, it is not that efficient, because if you got attacked, you have to find it inside your bag. So I thought that instead of, having this ugly pepper spray, why don't you turn it into a beautiful keychain that you can just snatch from your bag and spray on the predator's face. So hence, because of the increasing sexual harassment cases in Malaysia, I come up with this pepper spray, which is specifically designed for women. Back then, pepper spray was designed in the army for men. It is for, for attacking, but this pepper spray is for self-defensive tools.
Okay, on mic go.
So I think that's it about my pepper spray.
So Farah, we actually have this special session at the very end of Life for Youth. We give entrepreneur a chance to pitch, and then we'll ask the speaker to ask question. So Farah, do you have any question to Amira and her product?
I was not ready for this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mean. I will turn this into a mini dolphin tank / marketing promo thing. Okay, where
be
can
as you can, Farah?
where can we find the pepper spray? It's really cute.
It's gonna be on Shopee.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna be launching it on Shopee, so you can just purchase it on
Okay,
Shopee.
highlight aku dengan Farah aja. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Amira, for your time. So we're gonna launch the pepper spray on Monday. So it's gonna be available on Shopee.
Nice.
And
Oh,
also,
I have a question.
yes,
I have a question.
Yes,
How much is it?
Yeah. So the real price is 70 ringgit. So it's gonna be a limited edition. So we only have 20 pepper spray as of now, and that 20 pepper spray gonna fund for the cheaper version of more accessible version pepper spray. So please support us by purchasing all that 20 pepper spray, and also next month. Because for everyone's information, in March, it is International Women's Day. So we have a session called BABE. So the session will be on International Women's Day. The ticket price is 100 ringgit, and you'll get a free pepper spray when you enter the session. So the pepper spray. Sorry, I forgot to mention. The pepper spray is called BFF, Beware Friends and Foe. Please get it on Shopee on Monday. And for those who actually registered, we'll give you a link with a promo code because you registered to join with Farah. So Farah, that's all from us today.
Awesome.
Thank you for being together with Life for Youth. Do you have any final words?
Yes. So if anybody wants to know a little bit more about the entrepreneurship scene in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, you have any questions about community building or becoming a female entrepreneur, coming from a completely public school background and understanding how you get into a regional role in a big tech company, I'm happy to answer because I did not have someone I could look up to when I was a student. Please look me up on LinkedIn and I will answer any of your messages there.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for being together with us for Life for Youth for our second episode. And we'll be back for the next session, Life for Youth, episode 3, with our next speaker. So stay tuned. Bye.
Don't miss it. Bye. Thank you.
Youth Ventures 在这牛年祝大家新年快乐，万事如意。在疫情面前，大家务必注意安全。祝您财运滚滚，发发发 ！Youth Ventures 在这牛年祝大家新年。
Welcome to Live for Youth, presented by Youth Ventures, your one-stop platform for youth empowerment. Together with you today, it's me, Hanif Marzuki, CEO of Youth Venture at YVSTUDIO Cyberjaya. So we are also streaming this session live on our Facebook page. You can go to youthventures or fb.me/youthventures.asia. Before that, I would like to share to you that technology has moved so fast for the past 20 years. You can actually see it based on the internet speed. The fastest internet speed was only 1.5 kilobyte per second, and now we are boasting speeds up to 30 megabyte per second, up to 100 megabyte per second, up to 500 megabyte per second. So we are boasting speed that is so fast because of the progress of the internet, because of the current global trend of the pandemic. We see people do weird things. They start to go class online, start to do shopping online, buying food online. Because the access of internet is so easy nowadays, due to the pandemic, we see a growth in the amount of entrepreneurs, especially in Malaysia. One of the things that You Ventures are doing to help all of these new entrepreneurs is we provide them with digital skills class. Next month we will have 2 classes. One is we will have a short film class. You can scan the QR code if you want to register. We'll also have a social media content class. On the same day, the class will be 2 hours, 40 ringgit. We advise you to buy both classes in bulk. Scan the QR code if you are interested in joining the class. Without further ado, the guest that we have for today, very, very interesting guest. He is the CEO and founder of Startup Malaysia. He's helped founded a lot of brands. Hi Dash.
Hi Hanif.
Dash, few questions. So now is like the introduction session. I believe all the viewers want to know. You are one of the person that I know have met Obama face to face. Can you please tell us that story?
Thank you very much, Hanif. Really an honor